Yeah, first of all, I just want to give a hats off to Penn State. They host a tremendous event here. We've been here many years in the past for them. And it's just a really nice, very fun and very well run event. So appreciate that. And then also hats off to NJIT. They're a team that we play several times throughout the year. They're probably an hour from us. And so we know them really well, and they're very well coached and just play with a lot of class and integrity. And we love playing against them. So hats off to them, and then hats off to these guys for putting a really well-balanced game together. Hitting 379 as a group was pretty impressive, organized by Henry Bush, and then these two guys carrying the lion's share of the kills. Ben Harrington, 16 kills, 393, and first year Owen Mellon, 12 kills, 455. Pretty good debut for your first semifinal EIVA appearance. So really proud of them, and excited to see what we can do on Saturday.
No, you guys love to crank up the serve, but were you expecting it to be that sharp today?
What do you mean by that?
You guys have a really strong serve, but we're expecting to have that much success with it to be able to use it that well today.
Well, Gordon, have you ever played craps before? Yeah, I think our serving strategy is you know, we put some power behind it. I say we, here. And yeah, when we're serving well and tough and in some seams with some power, I wouldn't want to pass any of these guys' serves. So yeah, hats off to them to serve. And yeah, really balanced. I mean, obviously 24 errors, but 12 aces is pretty 50-50 is not bad. So it was pretty good.
I wouldn't want to be at the other end of the year. So
yeah.
And how useful was that serve? Not just you got the 12 aces, but just being able to push NJIT off the net, kind of force them into mistakes and force them into not doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, so scouting them, you know, they've got two very powerful middles, Carson Williams and Deshaveria. So, you know, the harder you can serve and the more you can get them off the net, the less they can use those two weapons. And you saw them going a lot today to their two outsides have the most attempts by almost double anyone else. So that's just all credit to our serving abilities and keeping them out of system throughout the game.
Question for both the players. After the second set loss, what do you feel was the biggest adjustment your team was able to make that led to the win?
I think from a player's perspective, it's just being comfortable on the court. You know, first set we came out strong. We had a lot of energy, a lot of nerves, like good nerves going for us, which is it's what you want going into a playoff game. Makes it easy to go out there in the first set, but then after winning the first set, that kind of dies down. You feel settled in, and then you know you don't have those same emotions working for you. So finding a way to bring those emotions back and lean on each other is how we came back after losing the second set.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things we did differently was we served in the court and just let them play, and we weren't making as many errors. So we could actually play the game.
Yeah, I think sometimes the ace is such a attractive thing. I think it gets kind of some fool's gold, and you kind of keep chasing it. I think after that second set, we had a few aces, but we had some really nice stretches of long, good serving that knocked him into 1 and 2 passes and some blocking defense behind it. So I thought it was a really mature serving performance as we got later into the match. Guys putting the ball with some heat, but with some location into some seams on some particular guys, which was really, really good to see.
Even though you guys lost that second set, how mentally helpful was it that you were down 15-8? You crawl all the way back and at least got into 23, and you put in the fight.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that, how we had a bad start, and it did come down to, I think it was 23-23 or 23-24 at the end there. So we were telling ourselves that, like, hey, we had a bad start, but we still have that fight in us. Like if we go head to head with them, we're going to score more points. So yeah, just we had that little rut, and then getting out of those ruts faster, or just preventing them in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the goal, like the game looked mathematically potentially out of reach at one point, but it was like, hey, if you grind and fight, you never know what could happen. And we've had some magical comebacks this season. And also you start cooking some energy for the upcoming set. So I was proud of how we fought in that second set to kind of build some momentum, hopefully turn down into a third and fourth.
So I'm curious, are you guys now feeling at home in this place?
Maybe not yet. Let's see.
It's my second time here, so, yeah.
I feel very comfortable here. I love it here. And I think, playing Penn State twice on the road, we're a pretty road tested team. We play way more games on the road than we do at home. And part of that is by design to set us up for a situation like this where we know how to get to the hotel and we have a rhythm and we have a whole, it's just, no one's surprised by how this weekend is going to go sort of logistically. And the guys are pretty locked into what we need to do. So I think we're excited to be here.
Anything else, Vinny?
Oh, yeah. Coach, just one or two more questions before we wrap up. This was your first match in the tournament, NJIT, second match in 2 days. Do you feel that benefited your team at all, especially late in the match, just having fresher legs and not having to play yesterday?
It's interesting, I think, right, conventional logic, the reason it's set up for the 1 and the 2 seed to get the bye would be to sort of quote unquote protect them or to give them, less of a strenuous road. But last year in the EIVA tournament, 1 and 2 seeds both lost, right? So 3 and 4, we were 4 last year. NJIT was 3, upset Harvard, we upset Penn State. And so kind of coming into this weekend, I was trying to tell them there's an important balance between being fresh, but also being battle tested. So we tried to compete pretty hard yesterday in practice to make it feel like a game. And yeah, the fact that it went 5 yesterday and some of those guys played a lot of volleyball, I'm sure, could have stretched them a little bit today, but it also can kind of keep them like warm and comfortable. So that match could have gone either way, but yeah, we were happy that we got the 2 seed and had a little less in front of us, and we're able to pull it out. But heading into the match, I thought it was 50-50, and I knew it could go either way. I have a ton of respect for NJIT, and I was proud we were able to pull it out.
With you all having the first match, you now get an opportunity to watch the second match, assuming, we don't keep you here for 3 hours asking you questions. But is there anything in particular in the stands you all are going to be looking at or watching as you guys do some live scouting on the two teams?
Yeah, I think we just played George Mason only a couple weeks ago. They've changed their lineup a little bit. We haven't played Penn State since February, so it's been a while. But I think, that's sort of the coaching staff, right? That's kind of our job to look at the numbers and chart through things. I want the guys to just kind of watch a little bit, get a feel of it, and sort of pick up some general things. We'll watch film tomorrow and we'll kind of break it down for them, but give them some bite-sized chunks of things to figure out. But I thought it was nice yesterday getting to watch that whole match with NJIT. You just see the flow of the match. It's different than watching just some clips and film. And being in the gym, you can kind of feel the energy. So I think that's a great opportunity for us to get a little food in these guys and get some ice on their knees and watch some volleyball, which should be a great match. So we're looking forward to it.
All right. And final question from me, Coach. You look at the history of your program, you take out those 2 years, you guys didn't play in the EIVA tournament because of COVID. 4th straight season, Princeton's been in the EIVA tournament finals. What do you think that says about your program and just the culture that you're building there?
I think like everybody else, we work hard and we try to do our best. And when the ball bounces our way, we're happy to enjoy it. But I have a lot of colleagues in this business that work just as hard and do the best. And sometimes it bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. So it's kind of you to say that. And yeah, it is kind of cool that 4 years in a row and stuff like that. But we try, and I try to model this of stay 1 point ahead, stay 1 point at a time, and kind of look at the thing that's right in front of your face, which is trying to get some rest and trying to prepare for the next match. So we're excited to be here, and it should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to let these guys compete a little bit more. So